The House of Tax Policy Committee would come to order. Would the clerk please take attendance?
Chair Neely.
Here.
Representatives Farhat.
Here.
Rixey.
Here.
Carter.
Here.
Witset.
Here.
Grant. Price.
Here.
Van Workum.
Here.
Markkinen.
Here.
Outman. Tisdale.
Here.
Hoadley.
Here.
Madam Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Vice Chair Farhad makes a motion to adopt the minutes from October 11, 2023. Without any objections, the minutes are adopted. For today's agenda, we will have testimony and vote on SB 150, vote only on HB 4905 and 4906, and we will have a vote to refer out of this committee on House Bill 4936 and 4937 to the Committee of Higher Education. Now we would like to ask Representative Change to Ellen to come up and your guests, and you guys can start when you're ready.
Thank you, Chairwoman Neely and committee members, for taking up Senate Bill 150. My name is Ellen Heinitz. I'm the Chief of Staff for Senator Stephanie Chang. Apologizes. Last I knew she was still in session. I thank you for taking up Senate Bill 150, which allows more options for a small claims hearing before the Michigan Tax Tribunal, which makes it more efficient and cost-effective for all parties. The idea for this bill came from a discussion with former tribunal member, now Judge Steve Beda. He's also a former senator and spent 8 years on the Senate Finance Committee. Senate Bill 150 would allow small claims hearings before the tax tribunal to take place via phone or video conference. Doing these hearings telephonically has long been an option by request for those appealing to the tax tribunal, as you'll hear from the tribunal chair, Patricia Holm, and it saved time and money for all parties involved. Currently, the default mode of these hearings is in person, and the meetings statutorily take place in the county in which the matter originated or a nearby county within 100 miles. For some matters in remote areas, this involves quite a bit of travel, including meals and overnight accommodations for tax tribunal members, and also occasionally for respondents who are often local government officials. Even for hearings that take place in less remote locations like Wayne, Oakland, Macomb, and Washtenaw counties, appellants or respondents can incur not insignificant costs for parking. Travel to the hearing site also takes time out of the workday for both sides. So Senate Bill 150 would make it easier to hold these small claims hearings in a more cost-effective manner for everyone involved. But Senate Bill 150 would still preserve the right for either party to request and have an in-person hearing at a mutually agreed-upon location. A virtual hearing would only happen with both parties' consent. Thank you again for the opportunity to testify in support of this legislation. Tribunal Chair Patricia Holm will testify further, and then we'll be happy to take any questions that committee members might have.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for taking this bill up. I concur with everything that Ellen has said, and hope that this will go forward. We've been doing telephone hearings for a while now. This has become more prevalent after COVID, where we pretty much had to start doing everything telephonically, but I think the vast majority of both the taxpayers and the local units really appreciate this. Just the other day I had a hearing with an elderly woman who was very nervous, and I think she was grateful that she could do it from her home as opposed to having to come in someplace. I think it really helped her stress level, and that's very consistent with all of the hearings that we have. I think everybody appreciates the opportunity to do it that way. So with that, again, I'm grateful that you're taking this up, and happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Well, thank you, ladies, for coming and testifying today. There is no questions. I do have a few cards to read in. Laura supports it, but not wishes to speak. Michigan Assessors Association supports and not wanting to speak. And the State Bar of Michigan is support of the bill and not wishes to speak. We will be taking up SB 150. Rep. Carter makes a motion to report S50. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
On the motion to report, Chair Neely,
Yes.
Representatives Farhat,
Yes.
Rixey,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Witset,
Yes.
Grant,
Yes.
Price,
Yes.
Van Workum,
Yes.
Markinen,
Yes.
Outman,
Yes.
Tisdale,
Yes.
Hoadley.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you have 12 yeas, 0 nays, 0 pass. SB 150 is reported with recommendation.
Thank you. Now we will take up House Bill 4905. Rep. Price makes a motion to report House Bill 4905. Mr. Clerk, please call the vote.
On the motion to report, Chair Neely,
Yes.
Representatives Farhat,
Yes.
Rixey,
Pass.
Carter,
Yes.
Witset,
Yes.
Grant,
Yes.
Price,
Yes.
Van Workum,
Yes.
Markinen,
Yes.
Outman,
Yes.
Tisdale,
Yes.
Hoadley.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you have 11 yeas, 0 nays, and 1 pass. HB 4905 is reported with recommendation.
We will now take up House Bill 4906. Rep. Price. Rep. Brissy would like to speak to the bill before we vote.
Thanks. I thought we were having additional testimony and the opportunity for questions. So I'll address both bills if that's okay with you, Madam Chair. When, okay, great. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Good afternoon. My name is Rob Cleveland. I'm the president and CEO of Cornerstone Alliance, the lead economic development agency in Southwest Michigan.
Okay, thank you. So one of the challenges that I have with these bills is that when we reduce sales tax or eliminate sales tax on something, we're hurting local governments. We're hurting all different facets of our budget that rely on those tax revenues for their daily operations. Is there a component of this bill that holds education harmless?
Yes. I can
Okay.
answer that. Yeah.
Okay.
We hold the school aid fund harmless, yes.
Okay, so we have developed a practice in my brief time here in the
No, I thought we had. Either continue or we'll figure that out. You wanna-
So we've developed a practice where we hold education harmless, but we don't do the same for local governments. And I don't think that it's a fiscally prudent manner to operate. And we haven't really addressed the revenue situation that we have in the states. So previously, I voted no on a data center exemption, and I would like to have consistency with that vote. But recognizing that I am asking for an amendment, I instead will pass and give the bill sponsors the opportunity to see if they could perhaps come up with an amendment. Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate it very much.
Madam Chair, can I address that briefly?
Yes, you can.
Thank you. Representative Brixey, I completely understand your perspective there, and I've provided some handouts with a potential data center project and totally understand your perspective on the sales tax issue. The vast investment in the real property side creates tremendous revenue for the state education tax, certainly all the townships, the police and fire, and it's creating tremendous revenue that would, quite honestly, the sales tax on these data centers is never going to come. There is not a single sizable enterprise data center in the state of Michigan, and that's because we're not competitive. So I understand your perspective, but they are not coming without this incentive. So we would be gaining significant tax revenue from the real property side on the millages. And, you know, the state of Michigan has done a tremendous job changing policies and procedures to support electric vehicle manufacturing and trying to have some foresight in what the future holds. That industry is far less certain than what we're talking about here today. Data is the backbone of our entire economy, the world's economy. And so I would just ask why we are supporting things like electrical vehicle manufacturing and taking all those great steps and not supporting something that has far more certainty in the future for us.
Thank you for that explanation in response to my concerns. But, you know, I will say a few things here. And, you know, the idea that the local community is getting something is entirely accurate, and they're getting what they're getting their fair share of any kind of installation based on the property tax revenue. Sales tax is a different thing, and it goes to different places. And when communities are forced to rely on only property tax revenue, they can get into some very grave situations. We have a variety of different property values throughout the state, and that has a negative impact on communities trying to rely only on property tax revenue. That sales tax revenue is a really important piece for the local governments in their revenue sharing. Property tax revenue is only a portion of what they receive. And, you know, in terms of pitting electric vehicles against data centers, you know, I keep hearing that Google and Facebook won't come here. That's right, because they're in California, and the tax burden in San Francisco or where they're located in California is a lot higher than it is in Michigan. So, you know, the taxes that we pay and that we charge provide very important services that businesses who want to come locate here rely on. So I just want you to understand where I'm coming from, and that's in terms of governing and making sure that we are operating within a sustainable framework for our governing in the state of Michigan. Thank you, sir.
Yes, again, I think you and I are in agreement and understanding. I would just say those data centers are not locating in California any longer because it is completely uncompetitive. It's why they're locating in Virginia and Columbus, Ohio, and looking for other places to locate. And with the exemption of this bill, we will be exempting sales tax. That sales tax is not coming anyway. So I would prefer to err on the side of certainly supporting our local communities and understand what you're saying and totally understand.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You can take your seat. Thank you for coming up and answering those questions for us. We really appreciate that. We will now take up House Bill 4906. Rep. Price makes a motion to report House Bill 4906 out. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
On the motion to report, Chair Neely?
Yes.
Representatives Farhat?
Yes.
Brixey?
Pass.
Carter?
Yes.
Witset?
Yes.
Grant?
Yes.
Price?
Yes.
Van Workum?
Yes.
Markkinen?
Yes.
Outman?
Yes.
Tisdale?
Yes.
Hoadley?
Yes.
Madam Chair, you have 11 yeas, 0 nays, and 1 pass. HB 4906 is reported with recommendation.
Thank you. I have some cards to read in. General Motors, Brian O'Connell, support the bill, but not wishing to speak. We also have Rob from Cornerstone Alliance supporting the bill, but not wanting to speak. We have Economic Development Leaders for Michigan support the bill, not wanting to speak. Cal McCree from Consumer Energy supporting the bill, not wishing to speak. And Michael Bryan from Indian Michigan Power and Company supporting the bill and not wishing to speak. Rep. Carter makes a motion to refer House Bill 4936 to the Committee on Higher Education. Would the clerk please take the vote?
On the motion to refer, Chair Neely,
Yes.
Representatives Farhat,
Yes.
Brixey,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Witset,
Yeah.
Grant,
Yes.
Price,
Yes.
Van Workum,
Yes.
Markkinen,
Yes.
Outman,
Yes.
Tisdale,
Yes.
Hoadley.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you have 12 yeas, 0 nays, 0 pass. HB 4936 is referred to the Committee on Higher Education.
Thank you. Rep. Whipsett makes a motion to refer House Bill 4937 to the Committee on Higher Education. Would the clerk please call the vote?
On the motion to refer, Chair Neely.
Yes.
Representatives Farhat,
Yes.
Brixey,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Witset,
Yeah.
Grant,
Yes.
Price,
Yes.
Van Workum,
Yes.
Markkinen,
Yes.
Outman,
Yes.
Tisdale,
Yes.
Hoadley.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you have 12 yeas, 0 nays, 0 pass. HB 4937 is referred to the Committee on Higher Education.
Thank you so much. Seeing that we have no members absent, there is no further business before this committee. This committee stands adjourned.